welcome back to the channel. We're going to do something a little different today. We're going to talk about the three places that best place to live on the West Coast here. These are three places that I've lived previously, so it's going to be, I don't know if it's biased or not. It may be because I grew up in SoCal. Just to give you a little background, went to Seattle for 10 years and then now in Vegas for 2. So let's get started. This computer's a little laggy, so sorry if my voice doesn't match up with my mouth there, but I'll try my best. I may even turn it off. We'll see. But yeah, just to get right into it, we're just going to do a scoring card on the three places. And again, I lived in these three places, and maybe this will find beneficial for you for deciding to relocate or change, jobs or whatever you want to do for your family or your sport. But mainly, this is towards mountain biking, and so most of the mountain bikers will see where's the best place to live here. And this is all my opinion, right? So, take it like that. And yeah, it's pretty good opinion though. I ride advanced riding, so if you're into, a lot of good downhill trails and riding and jumps and stuff and that type of terrain, then yeah, you're probably gonna want to stick around and watch this then. So first off, let's go for food. We're just gonna try to go this really quickly because these videos can take a long time, and I don't want to put in 20 minutes on you guys, so I'm trying to get you guys the information as quickly as possible. So we're gonna do a spreadsheet here. Let's go rate the food really quickly. Seattle. Seattle's food is, if it's high end, if you're in the Bellevue area, let me show you the map here. But as far as like everyone thinks you're going to get fish there and it's going to be good, but it's not the case. So their food's not good. It's getting better. There's no ethnicity, so it's mainly just was white food before, and so you don't get a lot of the good ethnicity foods like the Asians, the Indians, and stuff like that. So, but it is getting better, and actually Indian is one of the ones that's actually decent there. So there's a lot of Indians here in Kirkland. So this is where I live. This is Seattle. This is Kirkland. Very expensive areas. Bellevue's very expensive. Redmond's expensive. So all these areas have really high-end restaurants. So if you're into that kind of food, then good. But I like the value. I like the cheap hole-in-the-wall stuff that just tastes good from, different food from like Peru or, Mexican food, Thai food. So I know a lot about pho, the pho, Vietnamese food. So different foods like that. I'd say Seattle rates probably like a 4, right? So we'll go ahead and put a 4 there. If I could type it in. Okay, 4. SoCal food is amazing. Everywhere's good. I'm gonna have to give that a 10. Now that's 10 out of all these things. So Vegas is almost as good as SoCal, but not as quite good. So we're gonna give Vegas an 8, just below that. So bike shops, I just threw this in just a random order. There's no order I put them in. It's just random. So we're just gonna go all over the place here. But as far as bike shops are concerned, bike shops to me, or the accessibility of them, and how the parts they have in there, what they have in stock. So the bike shops in Seattle are pretty limited. There's a few. Woodinville Bicycle is the one that used to give me good deals. They won't have much in stock. Really friendly places, really friendly place. But there's not a lot of bike shops there. So we're gonna give them a 5. SoCal, we have Jensen. Jensen's massive. Jensen USA. And then there's InCycles. InCycles is pretty good. So we'll give SoCal 7. So far, Vegas is actually pretty good. They have in Boulder City, there's a bike shop, AMC is the name of the bike shop, it's the acronym. And then they have Southwest Bikes, which has been really good with me. And then they have Las Vegas up here in Summerlin area. So bike shops, Las Vegas is probably, I would say, even a little better than SoCal. So we're gonna give them an 8. Alternative sports, so this is including like kayaking and water sports and skiing and mountains and everything like that. So they're all pretty even. Seattle may be a little bit more than the rest of them just because they have like really awesome rivers and stuff if you're into that kind of thing. The hikes are amazing, obviously. The fishing, everything's pretty good. Alternative sports in Seattle could be good, but then again, it's different, right? You don't get the UTVs and dirt bikes part of it, but you do get, the boating aspect of it. So we're gonna give Seattle probably just like an 8, and that's pretty good. SoCal is the same thing. You got the beaches, and you get to be on the sand and do all that good fun stuff with surfing and everything like that. Mountain biking, the skiing's a little far. Big Bear kind of sucks. We're gonna give SoCal 7. Las Vegas is they have the lake. They don't have rivers. They have a small mountain that has snow on it for skiing. Uh, Lee Canyon up there, and they have Bryan Head and Big Bear's pretty close. Utah, Tahoe is pretty, not too bad. But I think they're not really up there with SoCal and Seattle, as far as that's concerned. Let's give them. I don't want to give them a 7 because I think I'm in a 6, but I think we'll go tie because there's a lot of rock climbers here. There's a lot of rocks to climb, and Seattle doesn't have that kind of features that I know of that you people are just climbing these massive rock faces. So there's some good rock climbing here in Las Vegas. We're gonna tie them with SoCal. Proximity to other locations, we're gonna give Seattle a 1. You basically can't get out of that area unless you take a flight. You can't just drive out of the winter there. You would have to drive for about 10 hours and go south. So we're gonna give them a 1. I mean, that was the worst part of being in Seattle. You're kind of stuck in a corner. SoCal's the same way. You're stuck in a corner. I mean, obviously it's a better corner because it has good weather. Your winters are nice and mild, and the summers are a little bit hot, but you have the beaches there and some mountains. So, but they're still kind of in a corner. So we're gonna give SoCal. We'll give them proximity to other locations. Let's see, they got Mammoth, Tahoe. We got Vegas. They got some pretty good stuff. So we'll give them a 6. And well, let's give Seattle a little break. Let's give them a 2. Because you can go out to Chelan or Leavenworth, but dang, this stuff's still too cold in the winter. Yeah, we're just going to give them a 2. They're just going to have to score low. Las Vegas, I think, for me, is a 10. I mean, I have Arizona, Sedona, Mount Zion. We have the Grand Canyon. We have, all Utah, southern Utah. I got California going this weekend. So I think proximity to other locations or just centralized reason is Las Vegas for sure. And people think, well, it's way out there in the middle of nowhere, but it's actually centralized if you think about it. Health, I don't know what I meant by health. I was brainstorming this stuff and I put it down. So let's just like overall health, right? Like eating and exercise and breathing, the air and stuff like that. So I don't know. Seattle's pretty healthy. The air's really clean, so we'll give them a 9. SoCal, you got let's include some stress too, right? You got traffic, you got smog, you got high cost of living. We'll say SoCal. We'll just give SoCal 6. Now Vegas for health, the air's clean, the sky is beautiful, it's blue, there's no traffic. There is not very good health insurance or health hospitals here. It's very like a wait time, and there's just not a lot of doctors here, so it's kind of risky to live here a little bit if you need some kind of medical stuff. But for the most part, it's okay. They could do a little better, but we'll give them a little bit better than SoCal just because of the air quality. Cost of living, Seattle is obviously the highest, so we're gonna give them we'll give them a 2 with the lowest grade right there. SoCal cost of living. So the food in SoCal was a lot cheaper than in Seattle, and some of the bills were a lot more expensive than Seattle. So the cost of living is probably right next to Seattle. I would say maybe a little better. So we'll give them a 3. Vegas cost of living is super expensive. Nothing's cheap. The only thing that's cheap, and it's actually more expensive in some areas with like electricity and car insurance than Seattle. But overall, the cost of it is the housing, right? The housing's not 1.2 million, 2 millions. It's under $1 million, which is still a discount, right? Maybe you could get something for even like $400 to $500, 400 to 500,000, which is and you couldn't see that in SoCal and Seattle unless you live really far in some not so good areas. So we're going to go ahead and give Vegas the cost of living a little bit better, but it's still expensive. You just got those houses that are a little cheaper in the rent, so we'll give them a 5. Five best spots to live. So this is not supposed to be on this. This is not really so this is not what am I saying? This is not for grading. This is what I just want to go over with you guys, the best places to live. So we'll start with Seattle first. Kirkland, Bellevue, Redmond's good for working, but not other than that, you're not going to ride a lot. This is flat. There's no trails here. There's just flat trails. So unless you're doing like cross, what's that road biking where you go in the dirt? I forgot what that called. I don't know the name of that right now off the top of my head, but You're not going to want to do that. Maybe some running here. There's a CKC trail. There's a big long trail that goes from here all the way to Seattle. So you get your road bike or your commuter bike, and you could get in some nice miles. So as far as like fitness is concerned, there's some good trails to run from here all the way to Seattle and back, and safe away from cars. They're on dirt paths, and this is all barricade away from the cars. It's very nice to do that. But you basically want to live somewhere around Fall City and Issaquah. So Issaquah is right here, and basically you can't do any mountains here. This is all hiking, but Issaquah has Tiger Mountain right here. This is an amazing place. This is probably the best mountain biking you'll ride in the area. And then you have some trails off of exit 27 here, which is also amazing. Rattlesnake. Can't remember the name. It's been a while because I've been not there for a couple years now. But then you have Fall City Toko, which is the funnest trails. These are flowy, probably intermediate. There's some double diamonds. There's not really double diamonds. There's black diamonds with good jumps, good drops, steep, good trails. I mean, their quality of these trails are really nice. And Tiger is more advanced. You got rocks and stuff, and then over here is both, right? So you get the rocks plus the flow off of exit 27. And then in the summer, you drive down here to Snoqualmie, which is a mountain bike park. So you got the mountain biking park right here. It's about 60 minutes or so drive. It's a nice drive, so it's not like it's bad. The freeway's wide. Let's go to Stevens Pass. Is another good spot. Stevens Pass is another good spot. And this is good. These are good, snowboarding and skiing. But the problem with snowing and skiing there that I didn't like is that this is about an hour and a half, and this road here is two-way highway, so it's pretty sketchy. I don't like driving this going 80 miles an hour, and the car's like only a few feet away from me coming up this direction. So this is about an hour and a half from Seattle. So the one thing I was going to explain about skiing and snowboarding there is that, we could even say winter sports, right? Like winter sports, we could put something on here. Let's see, winter sports. Yeah, my W key's missing. That's a cracked computer. Okay, so we won't put that. But yeah, basically there's some good skiing in there, but the problem is you're cold all year long. You're in the rain, and the last thing you want to do is get more cold and wet. So I never went skiing there. I never went snowboarding. I just used those two resorts for mountain biking all through the summer. And I think Crystal Mountain is another one you could look, and it's further south here. You do have Bellingham, but that's like an hour up here, and Bellingham is amazing. You're going to want to ride that all the time. But the trails down where I just showed you are also very good. But Bellingham is some of the best mountain biking trails. I've only went out there once, and then you have obviously Whistler is about 3 hours away, maybe 2.5 or something, which you could go. But I went during COVID. I was living there, and they cut the border out, so I wasn't going as often as I'd like. But you probably only come up here a couple times, Bellingham, because you'll realize that the trails that you're close by are really actually fun. So yeah, that goes for Seattle. So let's go down to SoCal now. I'm trying to speed this up so it's not too long for you guys. And I'll tell you where I lived in SoCal, which is in the San Bernardino area, which is Ontario, Chino Hills area, San Dimas. So let's go here. Mexico. We don't know Mexico yet. All right, so here you go. So you see my pointer here. So let me show you. I didn't ride this much of the Thousand Oaks area. This is Ventura area. This is all West LA, I would say. There's some good trails here. I didn't ride any, so I don't have any opinions on this. I did do Santa Barbara, which is super fun. And then you come up here to San Luis Obispo, which has the Face, which is the most craziest trail you'll ever ride or walk down. It's probably the scariest, steepest one that I've ever been on. It's called the Face. And then they have the Tower, which is also pretty cool. You can look those up on YouTube. But yeah, if you want to be in Los Angeles, some of the places you want to live for mountain biking is probably right here in Irvine, Laguna Beach. So they have Telonix, you have San Clemente. There's some pretty good trails coming up, San Clemente area. So all this area is really good. The problem is you're far away from Big Bear now, which is your summer riding and skiing. So you kind of get stuck in this area, and then you have all this traffic to get out of here to get to Bellevue. This is all traffic, right? So this is part of that whole healthy living, stress-free. It's kind of shit right here. But yeah, I was out here in Chino area, and then you have a GMR, which is a good trail. That's a fast, high speed, very technical downhill trail, like real downhill trail. And then apparently you have some other stuff in Crestline. Big Bear is a new trail coming up. You have Webb Canyon, which is smaller hills, but it's pretty fun. It's right about here. Um, and then you have Corona. These are Skyline trails. These are really fun. Troy Lee downhill trails over here is really fun. Sorry, this stuff keeps popping up. Okay, get out of my face, Google. Yeah, so if you could either pick two different places in California. You could live by down here in Laguna Beach area, which is super nice. I mean, this is if you have money, you're gonna want to live here. It's all pretty much red as far as political. So if you like the red stuff, you want to be here. And same over here, Chino. So it's all red out here. This is dirt bike heavens over here. The dirt bike trails and dirt bike tracks are, I don't know, they're kind of dying breed over here in California just because of all the government regulations and stuff and people and noise, and it's just stupid. But and so what California does is they ruin your fun, right? They like have all these laws and limits. You can't ride surrounds, you can't ride dirt bikes, you can't ride your mountain bikes. All these trails here are illegal, so it's kind of that crap that you're gonna get through if you live there. But definitely a fun place to live. And we'll go ahead and continue on our trail. Well, let's go to Las Vegas now. Then we'll talk about weather. Hopefully I get weather in here. I get the W in there. The W key is not just missing. Oh, I pressed it hard. Okay, weather. Weather. Okay. Okay, so let's go to Las Vegas. I'll show you some of the cool trails where you want to live. Boulder City, if you're a super hardcore downhill racer, rider, you want to live in Boulder City area. It's a little more rougher. I don't know, it's not like upscale. There's not really anything upscale in Vegas other than like Summerlin's coming up pretty nice and Henderson. I like to live in nicer neighborhoods if I could afford it. And I do. I just sacrifice my size of living in my house size, right? So, but yeah, Boulder City actually doesn't even seem that bad. So the housing is cheaper, but it's actually a fun little town, and you know it's something worth looking into because they have Lake Mead here. So you got all your water sports, and you got your mountain biking, you got some hiking up here if you wanted to do. You have Hoover Dam, you have all this whole the Colorado River, which is super fun. I mean, you could have so much fun here in the summers. Not really summer, June and July, but like before summer, like Memorial Day weekend, it starts to kick off, and after Easter. And yeah, you could you know, you get your paddleboard, kayak, so you get your power boats. You're gonna water sports is like so fun. You have Lake Havasu down here, which is amazing. It's party place though. If you want to see the pasties and the thongs, you want to go to Havasu and perv out on all that, you can. But yeah, so this is hardcore downhill. This is probably the scariest stuff right here is Boulder City, shuttling downhill for you. Then you have some stuff, Sloan, which is more mellow. This is a good enduro place to ride. You have Blue Diamond, which I haven't ridden there yet, but it seems like enduro, a little bit more advanced enduro. Um, and then you have Lee Canyon, Mount Charleston. So this is once it starts getting warm, we go up to here. We do shuttling around here on this area here. And then once the ski resorts open, then we pretty much stop shuttling, and then we go up to Charleston, Lee Canyon to do the bike park. And from here, obviously, you have Bryan Head, which is up here about 2 hours or so, and then Revenant's Bike Park, which I put a video on that for a bunch of dirt jumping, bunch of dirt jumps downhill for beginners and advanced riders, and that's pretty close. That's like, I think it's somewhere right around Mesquite area, right around here. So that's about an hour and a half. All right, so we're going to continue to the list here. Political, so yeah, if you're into being a liberal, whatever, libtard, you're gonna want to be in Seattle. But so this is me. I vote red, so I would say for me politically, Seattle's like probably the worst you could get. I think Portland might beat them, but you honestly do not want to be there if you're red. I mean, the people are just their brains are just totally different. So it's like a 180-degree difference. SoCal's not bad. I mean, I know there's a lot of red spots, and I know a lot of people are, conservatives on that area. You do have some of the closer to LA minorities and different people like this that are just a little freaks, a little bit, I guess you could say. You got Santa Barbara, right? So, and I'm not saying if you're gay or anything, you're going to do blue, but most likely it seems like that. Any of that type of thing will probably want to stay blue. So, but Seattle, SoCal is, to me, it's getting better. I would give it a 5, but probably in about a year. I mean, it might be a 6, right? So, we may just give it a 6 because the last election didn't seem too bad. So, we're going to give it a 6. And Vegas, Las Vegas itself, it did turn blue. Yeah, so, but the good thing about politically in Vegas is there's not a lot of, you don't see protesting, you don't see all this like weird stuff, like other than that, that fire on Tesla for that one off. But a lot of people keep to themselves on the political views, so it's pretty nice here. So I would give them a 7. Um, as far as political, yeah, Seattle, you're gonna see it in your face. I mean, they love to protest up there. The girls, the women up there just look all weird. They have different colored hair. You have different guys looking like girls and girls looking like guys. It's just, oof, wow, that place is not for people that ever lived in SoCal because it's a opposite, total opposite. This has come up here to the social part of it. This is spelled wrong, but let's go here. Social. So let's go socially. So this is like how you make friends. I lived in Seattle for 10 years. I made one friend, so we're gonna give them a 1. That's Seattle freeze Israel. My wife made a bunch of friends, and they're she's just a different person though. She makes hundreds of friends everywhere she goes. So, but yeah, they're just different people. If you're coming up from SoCal, Las Vegas, you're not gonna click with these Seattle people. There's a lot of tech people where I was at. They're really into them, introverts. They even said I sound different when I'm there. It's just, I don't know. There's something about them is just not good. So SoCal, I mean, that's going to be the best place to be socially. There's a lot of cool people. I made a lot of friends. But it is still, we'll give them an 8 because there's some situations where it's like, you're not going to make a lot of friends, that people have their own little lives now, and I think with the phones and stuff, they're more into their house. They're stuck in their house and stuff. So Vegas has been amazing. I met so many people here. I don't know any other place that's I mean, that fits my personality. So for socially, I mean, in what 6 months, I've have like 10 friends that I could call right now and say, hey, what are you doing? You want to ride this weekend? They're all riding buddies. So I mean, but even some of the other events that I go to and stuff that's not part of riding, I have friends of that, that do different things like when I RV and stuff. So yeah, I don't know, everybody here's just been really cool so far. I mean, you always have the one bad person. Um, and that's the thing about Las Vegas is they do have a bad. It's not the best area, but people for the most part are really happy here for some reason. So yeah. Then we're gonna go to the bikes. Let's go to the weather first. Weather, obviously, Seattle's sucks, but it is has some good summers, and that's about it. But like 9 months out of the year, it's cloudy. You don't see the sun for like a month or two. It's cold. You're going out and get to go ride your bike, and it's just pouring and freezing, and you're like, dude, I don't want to get out of my heated car right now, but this is my one day a week I can't ride, so you have to just do it. But you have the clothing, you're gonna get wet. You kind of get used to it, and that's the thing about the human body is like you get used to uh, different things, right? You get accustomed to things, and then you could start enjoying it if you just think the positive about it. But for me, even coming back to Las Vegas, I mean, I said SoCal, I left SoCal because there was too much sun, and people will laugh at me when I say that, but it was true. And so I went to Seattle, but now it's like, well, I think I really do like the sun better than I thought I did. So SoCal weather, it's sticky for me now that I'm in Vegas in the dry weather. So, and it gets hot in the summer, but the winters are nice. Yeah, we're gonna SoCal. I mean, I think the weather's probably like an 8 or 9 there. So we're gonna give it an 8 just because it gets hot and sticky and humid. And then Las Vegas, people think, well, you're going to the hot sun, it's gonna be heat, but honestly, the summer's only like triple digits, above triple digits for like 2 months here. And triple digits isn't hot here because it's dry heat, so it's more like a 90 degrees, 85-degree, wherever you're at, with humidity. So, yeah, so I'm gonna have to give this is actually Vegas is really good weather. It does get windy here quite often, which kind of sucks a little bit, but a dry wind is way better than a cold, wet day in Seattle. So I'm gonna go ahead and give them a 9. And only because, and it's probably more like an 8, and then this is a 7. So we'll go ahead and we'll do so it's 8 and 7, because the perfect is, I don't know where the perfect is, but yeah. So it does get colder here. It does with snow and stuff like that. So let's see what kind of bike you want. So if you have an enduro bike, where would you want to live the best? Let's see here. Let's go. Seattle is actually probably a. I could probably give it a 10 for enduro biking. We'll give it a 9 though, just because there's all the, so you don't shuttle in Seattle at all. You're just basically um, pedaling the whole year for 9 months until the bike park opens. There's no shuttling. There's a couple shuttle spots in Bellingham up there, but nobody really hits them up. And unless you live there, you're going to be riding those more often. SoCal enduro riding is pretty good. It's not bad, but the dirt trails and all that's not the greatest. The dirt's only good in spring. I mean, it's the best spring place, right? Like SoCal's top 10 place to be when it's spring. The dirt just, when you get your shovel and you go into the dirt, it's like cake. So we're gonna give Seattle enduro. It's not year round. We'll give them a 7. Plus the trails are all illegal, so that's probably a low 7. We might even give them. Let's just give them a 6. Yeah. Um, Las Vegas for enduro riding. Now this is more of a, you could just ride out as far as you want in the desert, but the dirt is not as good. I mean, you got those rocks, and it's really more advanced riding in enduro. So if you're into like really and stepping up your game, um, I would give, and let's give the enduro riding. Let's give it just a 6. Let's probably a 7. I think it's a little better than SoCal's enduro riding. Dirt jumping, if you're into dirt jumping, Seattle's wet, muddy, wet, but the dirt jumps are good. They have this super awesome bike park there, Duthie Bike Park. That's super fun, so we could give them an 8 there. SoCal's the best weather. You're gonna get good dirt and dirt jumping in the summer and the winter when you could dig, and then the summer if you do your job in spring and do a good jump line, it'll still be good in the summer. But the weather's amazing, so we'll give them an 8. Dirt jump in Vegas, I don't see any, so we'll give them a 5. I don't. There's not really. There's actually no real dirt jumps here. I mean, you could go up to Utah, and there's some good stuff. But yeah, we're gonna give them a 4. And then let's go with the ladies. Let's go with the, how do I put this, ladies? I don't know. Women, quality, pretty, beautiful. Um, what was put lady for easiness? So this is for the looks if you're single. So I guess I could have put single for good looking ladies and where you want to be. And Seattle gets a 0. I mean, those are some of the ugliest people on the planet I've ever seen. So it's amazing. I saw like one good-looking woman the whole 10 years that I was there. SoCal's gonna get. I mean, it doesn't get. I don't know if it gets any better than that, but that's pretty 9 right there. And then Vegas, pretty good. I don't know if it be single in Vegas is probably the best place you want to be. Um, Now let's do family. So family in Seattle. If you have a family, Seattle's really good. The schools suck because they indoctrinated all that tranny stuff and gay flag was hanging over my daughter. So if you're into that kind of stuff, then yeah, you're gonna want to be there. But prior to that, it's probably one of the best places to raise your family. The people were decent. The places I lived everyone was pretty nice. There's a couple weirdos here and there, but for the most part, really good family. But other than this whole after 2020, realizing what these people are, and just it just nope. You don't want to raise your family there. The only thing that's good is the girls are ugly, right? So you never have to worry about your lady or your man trying to, maybe like men look better than women up there. I'm pretty sure. I'm not, so. But anyways, you know what I'm trying to say. So family, I don't know. I mean, it sucks now, but it was better. We'll give it a 3. SoCal raising a family, expensive, but they will have a lot of fun there. There's a lot of things to do, but you do get burned out about around your 30s. You start getting burned out because you've been to all the places, all the beaches, all the mountains, all the amusement parks, everything that's there. You travel, you've done a lot. So, but your family will have a good time. You have schools that you could choose from, public and private and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think it's pretty decent 6. And if you would have asked me this back before 2020, I probably would have flipped these around and said SoCal sucks, but it's a lot better now. And then Las Vegas for a family. Shoot, it's kind of adult paradise. And but you can have your kids do some fun stuff if they're into like outdoor stuff, there's a lot, rock climbing, like I said. There's the lake meet is awesome. You have Utah, you got some skiing, so it's not bad. So let's just give it a let's give it a 5 or 4. So these are kind of low. Probably the best place would be southern Utah, St. George, but that's not on the list. I mean, out of all these places, St. George would probably beat all these places. But okay, so let's add them up. Let's see if this Excel sheet does this. Yep, sum 55. So we got 55 for Seattle, SoCal. We got 89. Wow. I hope it's not biased, but I'm trying to give you the best. And then let's see here. 81. SoCal wins. Ah, no, I don't want to be in SoCal. Well, all right, that ends this video. I know it's a little different, and honestly, you probably want to look into St. George. I had a lot of good time there. It's really fun. It's a lot of nice things to do. The house pricing, the cost of living is probably better. So, but that's not on the list. These are the 3 places I live. So, hope you found this informative, and we'll see you next time on the trails. See ya. Bye.